or afternoon. Good afternoon, depending on where you're calling from. My name is Jessica Pierce, and I am so excited to be your moderator today. I'm the founder and CEO of Career Connectors, which we started 16 years ago, which is insane to me. But we are grateful that you all are here. And if you have not yet introduced yourself in the chat, please do so. We'd love to hear where you're calling from, your name, and kind of what you're looking for in the job market. And a little bit about Career Connectors. We are all about connecting. That is, I mean, it is in our name. We are all about connecting you to resources, we to people, to companies that are hiring, and we know that through really good jobs, that builds stronger communities. And so all the resources we have today are coming through incredible people that have been doing this work for quite a long time and can assist you and empower you. So, if you have questions today, drop them in the chat. We love to talk on the chat. So the chat will be going and going and going all day today. But you can message in the chat, ask questions of our speakers in the chat, and we have coaches on the call that will answer some of the questions, and then I will also ask our speakers some of those questions when at the end. So if you are looking at how to control your view, if you click up in the upper top, there's a view option. Speaker view is usually what most people choose because that allows you to see the presentation as well as the person that will be speaking today. So you can do that. Also, after our two speakers go, we will be staying for breakout sessions. And what that means is at the end of the call or end of the hour and a half event, we will have an hour of breakout sessions and networking, which means our speakers, our coaches, and multiple people will be in breakout rooms, allowing you to have conversations, allowing you to ask questions and talk about your specific situation. So stay with us to do that. If you do need closed captioning, that is available at the bottom of your screen. There is a live captions option, and you can choose that for closed captioning as well. So before we get started today, I want to ask you all to open up, make sure you have the chat opened up, and drop a 1 in the chat if you are actively in job search. So you are looking for your next job right now. Yes, yes. Okay, Michael, Christy, Joe, Antonio, you're in the right place. You should be here. Thank you for coming today. Will you drop a 2 in the chat if you are kind of checking it out? Like, I have a job or I'm a business owner and I'm like maybe looking for my next job and I'm learning. I want to see what is out there. You are also, Amy, you also are in the right place because that is a really great time to kind of be, when you're working, kind of be looking out there in the market to see what's available. So thank you for being here, Dee Dee and Brian and all of you that are here. If you are a support person, a coach, a speaker, a volunteer, somebody that is here to support everyone in the call, put a 3. Drop a 3 in the chat and see who we have here as our coaches. And oh, good. Hi, Pamela. So good to see you. Kitty, Laura, great. We have some phenomenal people here today, you guys, that will be answering questions in the chat, but also our resources to you as well. So thank you all for being here. It's going to be a phenomenal event. I'm so excited for you guys to hear from Amanda Miller on leveraging LinkedIn to secure your next job. And then we'll move over to Laura Browne on how to negotiate a higher starting salary. That's a question people ask us all the time. And so for the breakout rooms, you'll see we have resume writers, LinkedIn coaches. We have career coaches here today. We'll have a finance coach. We have a great partner, Best Companies AZ. Sydney Rodriguez is on the call, and the Best Companies is one of our partners that works with a ton of amazing companies that are rated best places to work, most admired companies, and they like to match all of you with companies that are hiring. So they are here and available today. And so I'm so excited for you all to hear from Amanda Miller. And Amanda has been supporting Career Connectors for my gosh, many, many years. And she started off as helping us with resumes, but you guys, she's such an amazing coach. And so she is proud to be celebrating 30 years. I don't need 30 years. I know she looks 27, but 30 years of supporting job seekers and 20 years of doing it under her own company, Your Career Advocate. And she truly does inspire and advocate for her clients as a personal branding specialist as well, providing resume writing, LinkedIn optimization, and tools to navigate the job search, especially in crazy markets like right now. She is currently the president of the Resume Writers and Coaches Association, as well as an active member of the National Resume Writers Association and Career Directors International. But while she's not working, she loves hiking. She spends a lot of time with her son and her husband, and they love to stay fit, and they are diehard keto advocates and a good ton of recipes. Sorry about that. And so Amanda is a dear friend. Love her so much. So will you please help me welcome Amanda Miller? Woohoo!
Hello, I'm so happy to be here today. Thank you, as always, for inviting me. I love to share information and get you guys excited, right? So, I've been here before. If you have been here before, I have given a presentation like this before, but we're going to notch it up a level because you can go on YouTube. You can go to the Career Connectors YouTube channel and listen to me in the past. There's no reason for me to redigest that. I want to give you some new up to date information. So, hopefully, I have my presentation ready to go. We'll scoot on through. You can scoot past this one since we know a little bit about me. As you know, you already heard about that. I've been doing this a long time. So I'm happy to share. I mean, it's great that I've done it a long time, but it's not so great if I don't know what's going on right now. This market is bonkers, y'all, crazy. I have never seen it as nutty as this market is. And I've been doing this for 30 years. It was very different back in the day. So now you're really looking at a lot more applicants, a lot more layoffs, a lot longer to wait. I mean, on average, I'm seeing people taking 4 to 6 months to find a job. And in order to really capitalize on your talents in this market, you need a strategy. It needs to be diversified. The way you did it 5, 10, 20 years ago, even 2 years ago, really, is not going to be as effective in this market. You cannot just apply. So I'm going to give you some tools today to help you to diversify. Next slide, please. Oh, there we go. Okay. So, and I apologize, my little titles aren't showing up correctly. It's supposed to say stop the numbers game. I don't know why that's not coming through. It did when I looked at it, but it's okay. So the way that most people are doing it is a spray and pray approach, right? You apply, you apply, you apply. You'll see it all over LinkedIn where I applied to 500 applications last month and I only had 2 people call me. Well, that's just because it's not effective. It's really frustrating. It takes a long time. You don't hear back, if you hear back at all. I mean, I don't know about you, but I would rather at least hear a no than just waiting, trying to figure out what the heck's going on with that application I sent. So when you build a strategy, you incorporate a little bit more LinkedIn, a little bit more networking, a little bit more reaching out to recruiters. You're going to see results much faster. You're going to feel like you're in control of the environment because you are. When you're just applying, it's kind of out of your hands. You're also going to build relationships. I have met so many people on LinkedIn that I don't know in person that I consider to be, if not friends, really good acquaintances. We chat, we joke. That's what LinkedIn is. So we're going to incorporate that today. So it is non-negotiable that you use LinkedIn in this environment. It just is. You need to use it. That's the number one way that recruiters are seeking new candidates. And it helps you reach just about anybody. Instead of having to call a company and trying to figure out who's who, you can just now find them on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a lot of things. It's definitely a search engine and it's very powerful. It integrates with Google. You can search on Google. It's a lot of things. You went ahead. Go back. Okay. Oh, back, back. One more. There. Oh, perfect. There we go. Okay. So it's a search engine, super powerful, integrates with Google. It is a marketing site for your personal brand. Your personal profile becomes your marketing site. It's a social network, right? It's a social media, just like Facebook or Instagram or any of those. And so, therefore, it's a way to network with people. You can network in person, you can network on LinkedIn. I do see a question that says, what about Indeed and Glassdoor? You can certainly look on any site. But what LinkedIn brings, in addition to just looking for jobs, is all of these things. You can search for people, you can search for jobs in creative ways, you can market yourself, you can build relationships. So, all those things together are what make LinkedIn so, so powerful. Okay, now you can move forward. So, really, what we're talking about is leveling the playing field, right? It puts you in charge so that you feel more like you're doing something. You can keep track of your job search, you can do a lot of other things, but LinkedIn allows you to reach out to people. So, you're positioning yourself to be found by the right people, not just to be found randomly. And you honestly don't even need a huge network to start. The more people you have, the better. And LinkedIn has deemed that magic number as 500. So if you have 500 or more, it says you have 500 plus connections. But if you have fewer than 500, that's okay. It just makes it easier to find people, is really what it amounts to. But what you need more than anything else is persistency, clarity, and consistency. So you need to be persistent, do it all the time, and be really clear in what your message is. And that's what we're going to talk about. So 360 Brew, drop a one in the chat if you've heard of 360 Brew. I just want to get a sense of who's actually heard of this. So a few of you, that's good. Not a lot. And honestly, I hadn't even heard about it until a few weeks ago. It's really new. It just came out a couple of months ago. You can Google it and you'll find a lot of articles on it. But essentially, what it is it's LinkedIn's new algorithm. So they don't call it an algorithm because it's an AI model, but that's really what it is. And so what it's doing, and it's doing it because there are billions of people on LinkedIn. So it didn't happen overnight, but it happened, a little bit at a time, where it's starting to read your profile. It's starting to figure out who you are and then put you in front of the people that make sense to see your content. So it does that by literally reading and understanding what you're sharing on your profile, your activity, meaning the activity that you post, that you comment on, that you like, the network that you've built around yourself. And then your comments, whether they're direct from yourself, like a post, or if you're commenting on somebody else's stuff. So instead of how it used to be that you could do constant posting, right? You could post 2 or 3 times a day. It really helped in the algorithm. Now it's making it that you're earning your visibility by sharing valuable information. All that white noise is not nearly as important anymore as sharing valuable information. So, how does it work? It takes into account everything that you add to LinkedIn on your profile, it on the news feed. If you write posts, if you write articles, which I do, if you do video, I do that sometimes too, and a lot of people do. All of that stuff is incorporated into it. And it's looking for not only what you put on your profile and what you share in your activity, but how consistent is it? And by consistency, you'll see as we walk through this, I'm not talking about posting 2 and 3 times a day. Really, LinkedIn is okay with 1 or 2 times a week. Next, please. So, in order to embrace this, you really need to shift how you think. I have a lot of people I work with who say, well, I would love to, use LinkedIn, but I don't feel comfortable posting. It's social media. I don't like social media. I get it. I totally understand that. But when you're in a job search, the more you can network, the faster your results will show up. And so shifting that mindset into, this isn't Facebook, this isn't Instagram. I'm not taking a picture of where I went last night or what I ate for dinner. You're talking about value, how you can help people, asking great questions, sharing great information. And so, really, what we're looking at is three different things that you want to be doing. It's just that simple. We're going to talk about three different steps for you to get more visible and get engaged on LinkedIn. So, too many of us, back up. There's craziness going on. The slides have gone nuts. Okay, stop. I'm not controlling them. I promise you, there's a ghost. I don't know what's happening. But you need to get visible on LinkedIn. And too many of us are just hiding in the corner, right? And you can do that on Instagram, let's say. My husband is notorious for that. He's always on Instagram, but he posts like twice a year. You can totally do that on a different social medium. But you want to make sure that on LinkedIn, you are visible. Because if people don't know that you're there, you're not going to be found, right? You don't show up in searches, you don't show up in feeds unless you have a great profile to start with. So you want to think of your profile as, I always tell people, think of it as your own personal website. When you land on a website, you want to see, what does that company do? How can they help me? That's what your profile is doing for you. It's telling people how you can help them. So you're using it as a positioning tool to show people, namely recruiters and hiring managers, what you do. And then you're also going to make it easy for them to contact you, whether they send you an InMail or you put your contact information on your profile, which you certainly can do. A lot of people do. That you just want it to make it easier. Don't hide from recruiters. They're looking for you. Make it easy for them to find you. Okay, now you can move forward. So these are the things with 360 Brew that you have to have on your profile, non-negotiable. You have to have a headline, and we'll go into each of these. You have to have an about section. You have to list your experience. The other things on your profile, and you can optimize the heck out of your profile. If you want to look at mine, I'll drop it in the chat. You can see kind of, I've just tricked it all out, right? And you can mirror that if you want to, but you don't have to. It's nice to have a portfolio. Back in the day, we used to walk around with like a portfolio when we went to interviews. Now your LinkedIn profile can be your portfolio. You can put recommendations, you can put images, you can put things that you've done. If you're a published whatever, you can share your patents, where you volunteer. You can put all that on your LinkedIn, and that is fantastic. However, 360 Brew is really prioritizing these three things: headline, about, and experience. So that's where we're going to spend most of our time here. Okay, your headline. I have a good, better, and best scenario for you. The good is put the title you're pursuing. That part is non-negotiable. You absolutely have to have your title on your LinkedIn because that title is how people find you, right? If you don't tell them what you're looking for, and LinkedIn will auto-populate this based on your most recent position if you don't tell it otherwise. And if that makes sense, then great. But for a lot of people, it doesn't make sense. They're looking to move up. They want to move out, all that kind of stuff. So putting the title or titles, you can put more than one. You have 220 characters here. So you can put the title that you're looking for. That's good. Better, keep that title, obviously, and how you help. How are you making a difference for people? What do you do? Not just your title. We all have titles. That's not really how we're making a difference. How are you helping? So that's better. Best is adding a third layer on top of that and sharing something personal or engaging. So you have an example there: project manager, mitigate issues and risks while maximizing profit and efficiency. That's what you do. Addicted to coffee and dog kisses. Get to know that person? That's fun, right? You want to be fun, but you don't want to lead with that. We're not hiring people because they're addicted to coffee, unless we own a coffee shop. We're hiring people because they can do the job. The other part is how you build relationships, which is what LinkedIn is all about. Okay, now you can go forward. So then your about section. So 360 Brew really focuses on those first few lines. Restate who you said you are, right? So you say it in the top part, project manager. As a project manager, blah, 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 blah. Restate it. Talk about what you do professionally. Say how you add value again. Go into more detail. If you want to use AI for this, it's pretty darn good. So incorporate AI. I don't have a problem with it. Don't do a full resume all itself. Don't do your full profile all itself, but piecemeal, it does a pretty good job. So you can ask it to write you a 2,600 character about section that incorporates who you are, what problems you solve, what you're looking for. You can also incorporate a little bit about yourself. I do. I like to say all about myself. I hike. I share hiking pictures on LinkedIn. I guarantee you people don't talk to me about, oh, I love that post you shared about, how you should do this on your resume. No, they say, oh, I saw that you went hiking. Relationships. They're excited about that. So you want to keep your tone conversational. You also want to add in the 5 key skills. LinkedIn gives you an opportunity to do that right in the about section under the written part. And there's skills, and you just add them in. Think of the top 5 you do. So we all do Word, let's say. We all have great communication skills. Unless your job requires that, that wouldn't be in your top 5, right? Your top 5 are the core skills that you have. Then you get into your experience section. I find often that people have a disconnect between their resume and their LinkedIn profile. You don't want that because people are going to find you. Let's say they find your resume first, you've applied. I guarantee you they're going to go to your LinkedIn profile and then they're going to say, oh, what's going on here? I don't quite understand. So your dates, your titles, they should be the same. The guts should be similar. They don't have to be exactly the same because LinkedIn is much more conversational than your resume is. Your resume is your job scope in a brief overview and then bulleted accomplishments under each position. In your LinkedIn profile, you could use personal pronouns, which we don't typically use on a resume. You could say, I really enjoyed working on this. And one of my highlights of working here was this. More conversational, but you still want to have those result-oriented accomplishments. And you want to make your LinkedIn profile ageless, just like you would a resume. Don't go back to 1992. 2000 was 26 years ago, folks. I know that's shocking, but it was 26 years ago. You don't even need to go back that far. Go back 10 to 15 years. Now, unfortunately, LinkedIn will not let you put out a position on LinkedIn on its experience section without dates. So you'd have to delete it from the experience section. And what you can do is pull it into your about section as additional experience. You would just list the position, the company, location if you wanted to, and put that in there. So again, it still populates for keywords and all of that. So let me just talk briefly about accomplishments. This isn't a resume conversation, but accomplishments are really important. So think about accomplishments when you are looking at your resume and sharing them on LinkedIn. You can use whatever format you want. CAR is challenge, action, result. I don't know what STAR and SOAR are. There's something different. People use them. I like CAR. That's why I know that one. So challenge, action, result. What was a challenge you faced? What was the action you took to overcome it? What was the result that came out of that? When you bullet this statement on your LinkedIn profile and on your resume, it should be result plus action, drop the challenge. So you don't need to say increase sales 25% after implementing a sales training program because sales were down. It's pretty inherent, right? So you just need to say what you did, or excuse me, what your result was, followed by what you did. If you have numbers, great, but don't make them up. I see too many times people use AI for this and they say, bring in metrics. And then it gives a metric to something that's intangible, like happiness. Increased happiness 25%. Well, how do you know that? Increased engagement among the team members, 15%. How do you know that? You don't know that. It's okay to say you increased it, but don't put a number if the number doesn't make sense. Okay, next slide, please. And then you've got your complete profile after those big three, right? We talked about the big three, but you can do more. There's a lot more you can do on your profile. A great profile pic. You should have your profile picture up. It should be you smiling, kind of what you see in all of our Zoom boxes, right? Kind of this head and shoulders thing, smiling, happy, friendly, looking toward the camera. Nobody else. You don't want your family with you. This is a professional site. An engaging cover photo. That's the thing that's behind you, right? So that says what you do. Again, think website. When you land on a website, you look at that picture, it should tell you what it does. That's what you want. So put up a picture there. I like Canva, CANVA.com. It's Photoshop for dummies, and I am not a designer at all. So Canva makes my life easy. And if it's free, you can create a free account and then you put that you want to create a LinkedIn background and it has the perfect size, has some templates in there. You can start building it. It should say what you do in words and or pictures. You can do both. Your featured section, I'll see plenty of people leverage this. Sometimes people will show what they've done before, things that they want to highlight. Sometimes people will put a resume in there, and that's fine too. Your full skills section. So I will say that LinkedIn, they change all the time, but it contradicts itself in the skills. So if you go into the skills section and you add a skill to your LinkedIn profile, it will say 75% of employers want to know where you use this skill. Please attach it to a company. And you can do that. However, when you go into the positions and add a skill there, it'll say, please include your top 5 skills you used in this. Come on, LinkedIn, which is it? So I prefer that you have the 5 to 7 top skills. And they should somewhat mirror those top 5 skills in your about section so that you're consistent, right? Consistency is really important in your brand. And so that's what I suggest. Definitely keep all your skills there, just don't attach them to everything. If you're in organizations, you've won awards, volunteer work, recommendations, the whole thing can be filled out, but that's after you have that big 3 that you want to focus on.
Amanda, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I have a question that's in the chat I thought is really interesting. What about
Yeah.
education? Do you add education? What's your thoughts on
Oh, I
education?
didn't even put that on there. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Thank you. I'm glad you interrupted. Yes, education, but for agelessness, do not put your dates on there. So if you're a new grad, which some people are, of course, if it's within the last 5 years, by all means, keep the date that you got the degree. You don't have to put the date you were there, because for some people, I mean, I'm in that group, it took a little longer than 4 years to finish that degree, right? You don't need to flout that. But just put the date that you got it. But if it's after 5 years, then you can absolutely cut that date. And for whatever reason, LinkedIn will let you do your education without dates. Thank you for bringing that up. I appreciate that. Okay, so now that you have a profile, let's build your network. So you want connections, right? We already talked about 500 being that magic number. Don't get caught up on that. If you have 45 people, you have 45 people and get to work. Don't get caught up on 500. It's great, but it's not something you need to do tomorrow. I would much rather you make strategic connections and grow at a reasonable rate than to just say, I'm going to add 400 people tomorrow and get up there. So when you make connections, the real goal here is to build relationships. You're looking to get information. Even if you're reaching out to recruiters or hiring managers, you're not asking them for a job. You're saying, hey, I think that what you're doing is fascinating. I'd love to connect with you. Would that be okay? And usually they're willing to connect with you. And you can do all of this connection stuff under the free version of LinkedIn, but there are some caveats. So you probably have already discovered you can't send InMails unless the other person has opened up their profile, unless you're a premium member. And you only get 5 introductions with a note every month. So when you go on your phone on the app, you just kind of add a connection. It's harder to find that note thing. But when you're on a computer, you say connect with, and then it'll say connect with a note or without a note. You can only do the note 5 times a month without paying. I hate that. So you can do the free trial if you're really trying to leverage LinkedIn right now and get that month of free and do all the invitations you want. I don't encourage people to pay. I mean, I don't make any money off of it, and I don't think that they need to if it's not going to work for you. But if you like it after a month, by all means, if it's within your budget, certainly keep it. But you're really looking to engage with people. Again, another place you can use AI to create notes. Don't make them super long. We're all busy folks and we don't want to read, buckets of content, but do say, hey, I met you on LinkedIn, or excuse me, I met you on Career Connectors. I'd love to connect with you. I saw that you attended. What did you get out of it? Ask questions, engage with people. Went to a networking event. It was great to meet you. I'd love to connect on LinkedIn. So there are lots of ways that you can add little notes to make it more relevant, and then you're more likely to get a yes. So when you do connect with people, you definitely want to say something and start that conversation. So you can connect with people on LinkedIn before or after you apply, or even if you're not looking to apply. There are lots of ways to go about doing this. Let's say you applied for a position. Then you can go to LinkedIn, and there are two ways to look. You can look in the search bar which says I'm looking for, and you can put in recruiter at whatever company. You can also go to the company page and then look for people and then look for recruiter. And you can follow up with that person. You can send an InMail if that's available for you. You can send a connection request and say, hey, I just applied for this role. I'm super excited about joining your company. I'd love to connect, right? Super easy. You can also do it before you apply because you're interested in applying and you want to have someone kind of be your advocate for you. So you reach out to them before. Hey, I just saw this great job. I'm going to send my application in. I just wanted to introduce myself. I look forward to chatting with you. You can also use this, and you can forward it. You can keep it there. That's fine. You can also use this approach when you want to connect with people that you're not applying for a job for. So let's say you are interested in a company, you've made a target company list or an industry list. You can reach out to those people on LinkedIn and say, hey, I'm really fascinated about what you're doing. Do you have 20, 30 minutes that I can ask you some questions? Not once are you asking for a job. People love talking about themselves. Ask them to talk about themselves. People do that to me. Hey, I see that you're a resume writer. I'd love to talk to you and think about getting in the industry. Great, let's talk. I love talking about me. Yay, my favorite topic. Everybody's like that. So ask them to talk about themselves. I would love to hear more about what you're doing at that company, in that industry. And it's kind of like maybe you did this in college. I know I did. You did informational interviews in college because you were interested in industry and you wanted to check it out. It doesn't matter if you're 25 or like me, 55. You can still do that. It doesn't matter. Reach out to people, ask them, what are you doing? Can we chat? And then you're going to talk about what they do. And reciprocity is pretty powerful. So they're going to come back and say, well, what do you do? And you're going to say, well, actually, I'm looking for a position right now and I'm targeting your company or your industry. I don't know if you're hiring or if you're even in a role for that, but maybe you know somebody. Would it be okay if I follow up with my resume? I'd love to stay in touch with you. Now you're building a relationship. It gets pretty exciting. The other thing that you can do is every time you connect with someone, so once someone connects with you, whether they connect with you or you connect with them, now you can send InMails and they don't cost anything because you're connected. Now you can send a nice note. I have a little note that I wrote and I just copy and paste it and change it as needed. And it basically just says something like, hey, so and so, thanks for the connection. Or I say, thank you for accepting my connection request. I look forward to learning a little bit more about you, about me, and then I'll talk about me. Like I love to tell stories and, I like to help people. And I spend like one sentence on what I do for a job because that's not why I would love for them to buy my stuff, but that's not where I want to start. And then I go into something personal. hey, I also like to read and exercise, and this is what I like to read, and I love Wonder Woman, and, I'd love to learn more about you. I look forward to starting a conversation. About 30 to 50%, depending on the day, I will get responses to that. Thank you so much. It's so nice to meet you. I also like Wonder Woman. I also like to read. I also travel, like whatever it is. And so that's great. I had a full conversation back and forth with one person. I was like, you're awesome. I love you. Never met him in person. But now we have a relationship, and that's what it's about. So you don't have to recreate the wheel here. It's just a conversation. And if you're not sure what you want to do on your profile or conversation or post, look at people who are doing it well. There are a lot of people on LinkedIn who are rocking it. Do what they're doing. You know, it's a great idea to just look at people and see, what do they have on their profile? What are they saying in their posts? If they're in your industry, kind of start to engage with that. Again, AI, plug it into AI. I really like what this guy's saying. Can we build something that's going to work for me? And it will. Okay, next one. So now you've created your profile. You're starting to build a network. Now we're going to engage. So I have stories here. When you show up, it matters. You need to be in the conversation. If you're old enough to remember Field of Dreams, if you build it, they will come. It doesn't happen that way, folks. I'm sorry. It did for a while there, but now you really have to engage on LinkedIn. Now, that's not to say that the old things don't work. You can absolutely apply for a job and get an interview. Absolutely. You can just put up a profile and people will find you. Absolutely. But it takes longer. So when you start to add to the conversation and show up as an active participant, magic happens. For instance, stories. I love stories. So in December, I kind of, like most of us, kind of checked out a little bit. I was busy. I wasn't posting as much. My numbers plummeted. You can see your numbers. They're on your profile. You don't have to pay for that. Right underneath your header on your profile, it says, see all analytics. And you can see how many people look at your profile. I had 4,000 views a week. They dropped in half during that time because I wasn't posting. I wasn't in the conversation. I wasn't commenting. I wasn't doing anything. I had a client who reluctantly started to post and said, oh my gosh, my numbers went up like crazy. All of these people are looking at my profile now because you're in the conversation. You have to be involved. LinkedIn rewards you by making you show up for participating. Participation trophies are a thing on LinkedIn. You get them. We may not like them in real life, but they're awesome on LinkedIn. Participate. You win when you participate. It's the greatest thing ever. So you don't have to go crazy. Yes, thank you. That's perfect. So less sometimes is more. I post almost every day, not always on the weekends, because, I like my weekends. But if I hike, I will post pictures of hiking on the weekends. But you don't have to do that. I'm not telling you to get on there every day and spend all your life on LinkedIn. That's just a crazy ask. I'm saying 1, 2, 3 times a week. That's it. That's all you need to spend on there to post something. You don't need to think about changing the world. You're not a content creator if you don't want to be. You don't have to be an influencer. You don't even have to be a thought leader. You just have to be in the conversation. You're sharing insights, ideas, thoughts. Talk about your experiences. I was driving today and had this thought. That's great. Add context to who you are. That's what LinkedIn is looking for. That's what 360 Brew is looking for. That's what people are looking for. Yes, AI is prevalent in our world on LinkedIn, but it's really about the people. So you are trying to connect with folks. Okay, next. So what should you share? I usually suggest that you talk about 3 different categories. The first one is kind of negotiable. So those people who put a 2 in there and when Jessica asked and you're not actively looking or you are currently employed, please, please, please do not talk about your job search on LinkedIn. You will lose your current job and we don't want that. So keep that on the down low. However, If you got laid off, you're not working, you're in between things, whatever, absolutely talk about your job search because people can help you and they can't help you if they don't know how. So tell them what you're looking for. I'm currently looking for a position as, and I am targeting this type of company, this industry. You can add more than that. But those are what people need to hear. If you have a title that no one's ever heard of before or that everybody employs, then you need to get more specific. I mean, especially in IT, most of us walking around don't know what IT titles are. So give them a company. People, human nature is such that we do really well with specific to general. We do horribly with general to specific. So think about it. I'm going to pick on a chiropractor. You've all heard that chiropractor says, I help everyone with a spine. And I'm quick to say, not my ex-husband. So you want to be careful, right? They think about like, what is it going to be? Spine? You can't help everybody with a spine. That's crazy talk. But what if I said, I help people who've been in car accidents? I'm thinking about somebody now. The same is true with your job search. I'm looking for a position. I'd love to connect. I was just at Target. They're hiring. You should go apply. That's a position. I'm helpful, but it's not what you're looking for. But when you say I'm looking for a project manager position and I'm targeting construction companies in the Phoenix area that are currently building commercial projects, I've thought of somebody now. I can make an introduction. So get really specific. Do not blast people about their like previous interviews you've had. I've seen that. Oh, I went to this interview. They were horrible. They weren't on time, blah, blah, blah. Who's seeing that? The person you interviewed with? The person who might want to interview you. Not a good look. Keep it positive. Second thing to talk about, your expertise area. What do you do great? Again, if you don't have ideas, AI is fabulous at this. Give it your URL. Tell it what you want to talk about. Tell it what you're great at. You can share an article you read. You can write a post. You can use a poll. I'm sure you've seen polls on LinkedIn. They're so underutilized and they're a great way to get engagement. You can ask about something that you can solve. And then you give suggestions of, I'm doing great, to, oh my gosh, send a life raft. And then you go reach out to those people who need a life raft and you say, hey, thanks for answering my poll. I see you might need help. Can we get on a call? They might be able to hire you. And then talk about yourself, your hobbies, your interests. I already told you, I post about hiking. I hiked yesterday morning. You can go look on my profile. There's a picture of me going, hi, I'm hiking. There's a picture of the area around here, mostly because a lot of my connections are back east and they're buried under snow and they like seeing the desert in the snow time, right? They're like, oh, there's a place where it's not horrible. Yay. So I love to share pictures. I hiked with my son this past weekend. I posted that picture up. It gets much more engagement than anything else, much more. Why are you doing this? Why these three things? There really is a reason. We do business with people we know, like, and trust. We get to know each other just by showing up. We get to like each other because you're posting about yourself, my kid, hiking, cooking, whatever you are, whoever you are. We get to trust people because they're saying that they're experts. When you have like, know, and trust, you build credibility. That's what we're doing. Visibility for showing up, credibility by sharing these three things. I guarantee you that you will see such a rise in your numbers from just getting active. So, next slide. Okay, so what are you going to do with all this? We come to these fun events all the time, right? You go, woohoo, aha, this is great. And you walk away and completely forget what you learned. I'm going to tell you what you can do this week or next week. It's Thursday. I know, you might tune out by tomorrow, but next week, get this on your calendar. Look at your profile. Do a review. Is your headline good, better, best, or non-existent? At least get to good. Try for better, aim for best. Your about section. Are you telling people who you are, how you can solve their problems, what you're looking for, and maybe something personal. Add those skills in there. Look at your experience. Is it complete? Do you have the right positions there, the right dates? So many people don't even have the right dates compared to their resume. And do you have content? So just putting your experience up there is not enough. You need to have content. LinkedIn is a search engine. It is pulling from the content that you share. So put in what you did there. What were your accomplishments? Then the next thing to do, if that's great, build your network. Start commenting, start posting, reach out to somebody, do the engagement things. Whether it's a post, that would be great, but some people want to wait on that. You know what? I don't really feel comfortable about posting. Okay, then optimize your profile and comment on a post. Send a connection request. Reach out. I see all these LinkedIn things coming through here. Reach out to somebody who's put a LinkedIn link in there and say something to them. Start a conversation. They're all here. They all are hearing what I'm saying. They're going to be open to that conversation, right? Be okay with making progress. Don't worry about being perfect. Obviously, you don't want to, and I didn't say this, but I'll say it now. I feel like it should be common sense, but LinkedIn is public. Don't take down old employers. Don't take down current employers. Don't talk about sex, politics, or religion. These are all bad things to do in a job search because that content lives forever. I feel like I should echo ever, ever, ever. Like it lives on always, right? So don't do that. Don't even comment on people's stuff. I've had to unfollow people because they're posting politics all the time. I get it. We live in a wackadoodle world right now. I don't care which side you're on. It's crazy out there. Don't post about it. Post about as positive as possible. However, we all have days, right? You see those people who have days on LinkedIn. I feel for those people who have those days, and it's okay. But I encourage you when you have a day where things seem like they're going awful, you can share it on LinkedIn, but put a positive spin on it. Say what you learned about it. Because when you put that negativity out in the world, it kind of pulls it back towards you. And you don't want that, right? You want to put out that I am a positive job seeker. We want to hire people who are fun to work with, who are productive, who see the glass as half full, not half empty. So if you have a day, and I have one person I follow, and she's been in a job search for months, months and months, and she has days. But she always, when she talks about the bad days, she says, you know, she'll say the bad, right? And then she'll come in and she'll say, but what I noticed about this is this. What I learned from this is this. So she always has a takeaway, and people are listening. People engage with the takeaway because they're having those days too. Oh, I guarantee you. But when you give them something to latch onto that's positive, you're going to get better conversations. Okay. So just remember to take it one step at a time. Don't take on everything that I told you today. If you can just optimize your profile this week, fantastic. If you can do one comment, excellent. One post, one outreach, one thing is one thing that you didn't do yesterday. And that's going to put you ahead because as I mentioned, visibility, getting in the conversation, leads to credibility, which leads to opportunity. You don't need a massive network. You don't need to have a perfect profile. You don't have to post every day with amazing revelations about the world. All you need is to be persistent, consistent, and have intention. When you do that, you will see opportunities start to show up for yourself. And the next slide is questions. So I am happy to take questions. You are welcome to connect with me. I will connect with anybody and everybody. I share lots of tips and suggestions on LinkedIn all the time. So I would be happy to have you hopefully learn something from me there.
Amanda, so good. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sorry about the slides issue, but amazing, amazing. Your content is so good. And I do want to make sure everyone knows that we are sending out the recording of this event after. So Amanda had such great content. You can go back and look at the this webinar and like pause it and kind of see what she was saying and reach out to her on LinkedIn. Again, she really is. The reason she's a friend of mine, but the reason I even know she loves Wonder Woman and that she loves hiking is because of her LinkedIn profile.
It's true.
So
It's all up all the time.
so true. I'm just going through the chat to see if there was anything that stood out that I know you're going to go back and mention that, go back and look through this as well. But I don't see anything right now as I'm scrolling through. So I just want to say thank you. The content is fantastic, and Amanda is an amazing resource if any of you need that. So thank you for being here. We
You're
so
welcome. And I'll be
appreciate.
in the breakouts. So if you have a question, I will be happy to answer it then.
Awesome. Thank you, Amanda. All right, we are going to move over. I want to mention a couple things. We've had the question a couple times in the chat. The recording will be sent out. So as long as you're registered, which you all were registered for this event, if you got the Zoom link, so you will get an email later today after the event that will have a link to this playback. The playback takes about 12 hours from the time we end until it can be totally loaded up and it's live, sometime up to 12 hours. So it may not be available right away, but it will be available. The other question is we have had is can we get the chat? Can you send out this chat or but the answer is no. We cannot. We had a security breach with somebody. It's been a couple years now, so we're kind of thinking maybe security is better. But we had a security breach where somebody took our LinkedIn, all the information, and started spamming all the people that had commented it. They were connecting with them and kind of harassing them on LinkedIn. So we had to shut down the ability to copy and paste the chat, including us. So we can do some things on the backside to copy, but then the formatting is all messed up. Anyway, so no, we're not sending out or you can't copy and paste the chat. We're considering opening it up again because security is better now than it was 2 years ago. So just know that. We are not doing it because we don't want you all to have access. So the only way we can do it right now is if you click on somebody's LinkedIn profile and go to them right now and connect with them. The other thing you can do is write their name down and connect with them later on LinkedIn. Also, if you haven't dropped your LinkedIn URL in the chat yet, go ahead and do that. You can do that by going out to LinkedIn, going to the profile page, which you can click on your picture to get to the profile page. And the URL that's at the top of the bar, you just copy and then you paste that. And when you paste that in, that it will turn blue, and that allows us, just like Sydney did just now. Sydney is with Best Companies AZ, just like Sydney did just now. And you can click, and that way you can connect. Now, I understand you only get 5 or so a day, but if you connect with each other, I will go in and connect with all of you. And that is how it's done. So thank you again, Amanda, for that. And we just so appreciate you. Amanda will be available at the breakouts. Okay, now you guys, we get to hear from another brand new speaker. This is Laura Browne. She has extensive experience in leadership and management development as she was a senior director of HR for a global tech company where she taught managers how to be better interviewers. She is a speaker, trainer, and coach who helps global leaders and individuals be more successful. In her company, Career Coffee Break, she shows clients how to get promoted and make more money at work by negotiating raises and helping negotiate higher starting salaries. She is the author of 3 books and 2 fiction. So her books include Help, My Company Swiped Left, Increase Your Income, 7 Rules for Women Who Want to Make More Money at Work, and A Salary Cinderella Story, or How to Make Money Without a Fairy Godmother. Laura has written for Forbes and has been quoted as a business expert in major publications, including Cosmopolitan, Family Circle Magazine, and USA Weekend. And we are honored, Laura, for you to take our stage. So please help me welcome Laura Browne.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Jessica. I am so excited to be here. And I just have to say, thank you so much for the last presentation. I love LinkedIn and I'm on it a ton of times, but even I got some great ideas. So thank you, thank you. So yeah, let's talk about money. Who here wants some more money? I bet all of you want some more money. So I'm going to give you some ideas about how to get more. So what you're going to learn in the next 20 minutes is, first of all, how to prepare for those very scary salary questions. We're going to talk about what to say and what not to say when you're asked that very scary question, what salary do you want during job interviews? So I'm going to tell you what to do. And after you get the job offer, oops, can we go back? After you get the job offer, what do you say so you can negotiate a higher salary? So I think we need to go back to the presentation. Okay, great. All right. So the next one. And one of the reasons I love talking about this is such a nerve-wracking topic for so many people. And when I start to tell them, you can negotiate a salary, like, oh no, I would never do that. And I'll tell you a couple of stories about people that thought they could never do it, but then did negotiate and they did get some more money. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. Anyway, so this is next slide. So this is me. I'm the author. Actually, I'm the author of 12 books. I just mentioned three here. Interview Speak, what your interviewer really wants to know, which gives you tips on how to have a better interview. And that's my newest. Increase Your Income, a fiction book, a salary Cinderella story. And I was HR for global tech companies for many, many, many years. And the reason I mention that is I know what goes on behind the scenes when people ask for more money. And so I'm going to give you a peek behind the curtain. So next slide. Okay, so what's the goal here? Your goal is to get a great job that you want at the highest compensation while developing positive relationships with the people that you're going to be working with. Next slide. Because people are scared about, especially this one, because here are some fears that hold them back. But oh no, I'm afraid, if I ask for more money, my new boss will be mad or will cause problems at my new company. Here's the thing though, I'm going to tell you how to ask for more money in a positive way that can build relationships. So if you say it, in a positive way, your boss might think, wow, this person is really a great communicator, or this person really works together well, or negotiates well with other people. So it can be a real positive. The other thing is people are afraid of, no, I shouldn't even ask. It's not right. Here's the secret though. Most recruiters and companies expect people will question the salary. Believe me, I've worked with a ton of recruiters and they know. Now, do they want you to question it? Absolutely not. They just want you to go ahead and accept the amount because it's the easiest for them. But they expect in most cases that it's going to happen. So don't worry about it. Now, again, we're going to talk about how to do it, but don't be scared about that. Now, here's the other one that I hear. No. If I ask for more, they're going to take the job offer away. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I have talked with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people about their job and salary experience. And there has only been one time that happened. And I want to tell you that quick story. So I talked to somebody about this and she said, oh, you know what? I asked for more money one time and I didn't get they rescinded the job offer. And I said, tell me the story. She said, but actually, though, it was the best thing that could have happened to me. Because what happened was she was offered the job. She tried to negotiate a little bit more. And the manager got annoyed at her and just rescinded the job offer. And she said what she found out, though, was it turns out, then she did her homework, which she should have done before, is he was a terrible manager and he was a really nasty person to work for. And there was an enormous amount of turnover in that company and for that person. And so the reason I tell you that is there a chance that will happen? Yes, maybe 0.00001%, but maybe it's because the person is a jerk. So if you ask for money in a reasonable way and in a good way, again, most of the time it's expected, it's part of the process. It's not personal. So I just really want you to get that in your head that this is a process that you're talking about. Okay, next slide. All right, we're going to talk about three parts. How do you prepare? Then what do you say and not say during interviews? And what do you do after you get the offer? So let's talk about preparation first. So Go. So again, prepare yourself. It's okay to ask for a higher salary, which is one of the reasons that I'm here to tell you to say, yes, not only is it okay, you need to do it because this is the one time that you have to be able to make the most money. Because remember, all of your raises are going to be based on this number that you start at. So it is okay. Okay, move forward. Yes. Do your research so you know what to ask for, and we'll go into that a little bit. Next one. Practice what to say and how to say it. And this is going to sound funny, but especially when we're talking about some of the words I'm going to suggest to you or some of the statements, it can be really uncomfortable to actually say it and to negotiate. And so I really recommend with people get a friend of yours and practice and actually say it and say it a couple of times or record yourself saying it because the more you can say it, the more easily it will come out and you won't be stuttering or saying, I'm not sure. So again, really practice. That is part of preparation. Go ahead, next one. All right. So where do you compare salaries? So you're going to want to look for salary comparisons nationally and locally. And I just listed a couple of places down here, salary.com, PayScale, Glassdoor, Indeed. Now, the reason I mentioned local is if you just say, well, I looked online and I found, that, jobs in this area pay X to Y. Unless you're looking locally, the companies can say, oh, well, but we're in Phoenix or but we're Los Angeles or we're Tennessee or whatever, and we don't pay that. Not only is it the place, but also if you don't dive into the industry. So I've heard people, well, yeah, that's general, but we're in this, or that's general, but we're a startup company and we don't do that. So the more specific you can get, the better. In addition, I've only listed a couple of them. Depending on your industry, there are also other places to find industry specific salaries. So just do whatever homework you can because you want to go into that not only with information, but you want to go into this feeling confident about the information that you got. Next slide. All right, during the interviews. So this is probably one of the scariest things, but this is one of the key things. If you remember just about nothing else, remember this. You're going to try to delay the salary discussion until after you get the offer. That's when you have the most leverage. They want you and it's easier to get more money. At that point, they love you and they've already offered it to you. Because here's the problem that let's say it's your first interview or even if it's your second interview and they start to ask you about salary. The reason they're doing that is they're fearful. They're fearful that it's going to waste their time or the manager's time. So let's say they don't ask you about salary and they get you to the end and they offer you, I don't know, they offer you $50,000 and what you really want is $100,000. Then the manager is going to be mad at them and then they're not going to be able to get you. So what they're trying to do by asking you is they're trying to make sure that you're in the right range. Now, it's not just that you're in the right range, but they also want to know, again, are you too high or too low? So if you're too high, obviously they're afraid that if they offer you the job, you're not going to take it. So again, they don't want to waste their time or the manager's time. But if you're too low, they're going to be afraid, oh, maybe this person can't do the job. Maybe I misunderstood what was on the resume. So you really want to have that sweet spot where you're not too high or too low. So this is scary. So what number do you give? Here's what you do instead. Go ahead. Next slide. So when they ask, what kind of salary are you looking for? Don't answer right away. Don't give them a number. Be curious and say, oh, can you tell me what the salary range is for this position? And I kid you not, if you've never done this before, most of the time they'll tell you. They'll say, oh, yeah, well, let me go ahead and get it. I've had people go, oh, hold on a minute. Let me just see. Oh, yeah. The salary range is this. So many times when you ask, and again, just ask in a nice, curious way, they will actually tell you. And all they're looking for is for you to confirm. And as long as it is within the right range, just confirm by saying, oh, yeah, that's the range I'm looking for. Great. So basically, they can check it off their list and keep moving forward with you. So that's why it's really important if you can. Now, there are also plenty of interviewers that are not going to tell you. And they'll ask you again. And I remember one time somebody, I went through and I said, well, can you tell me what the salary range is for? And he got a little annoyed. He's like, look, just tell me what you're looking for. So sometimes you're going to get somebody like that. Okay. You still don't want to give them a number. What you want to do is say, well, much would depend on the entire package, But based on what I've seen for similar positions, it seems like somewhere in the X to Y range would be reasonable. Now, so again, so you're saying, so based on the research I have done, I see X to Y range. And again, it's not personal. It's taken it away and say, this is what I've seen. Now, two things I want to point out about the X to Y range. The first one is if you say X, make sure that you will accept X. So if you say, $50,000 to X, they're thinking, oh, they immediately glam onto the first one, that number. So make sure that you would accept it. The second thing is you want to make it a big range. So you don't want to say, I'm looking for 60 to 65, way too specific. You might say, I'm looking for 75 to 100. So again, make it bigger because all you want to do is make sure that you're somewhere inside that range because all you want them to do is move you forward and then not worry about the salary, but then you get to the salary when you get the position offer. Okay, next one. Now, let's get to that offer part. So go ahead and move forward. Okay, so this is the really exciting part. All right, congratulations. You got the job offer. Now it's time to talk about salary. Now you have more leverage. So again, think about it from their point of view. What they have done is they have really spent a lot of time. Maybe you've gone through 2 or 3 interviews, involved the manager, all this stuff. They've spent all this time on you. They've made the decision. They've, signed off on things. They want you. And now is the time that you have really a lot more leverage because they want to get you into the job and they don't want to have wasted their time. So they're really interested in it. Now, you could get the salary offer in the final interview, and that they talk to you about it. We want to offer you the job and the salary is X. Or it could be in an email. If so, I always recommend ask to schedule a meeting to ask a few questions because it's better to have a conversation about it rather than just go ahead and, send an email back saying, can I have $5,000 more? That's not going to be the best thing. Okay, next slide. Yeah. When you get the offer, there are going to be 3 possibilities. Either it's less than you want, it's just what you want, and it's more than what you want. Now, no matter what the offer is, ask for more. I'm going to tell you from my personal viewpoint what happened a number of years ago. I really needed a job. And I got a job offer. And it was more than I wanted. But I knew this stuff. And I thought, okay, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and ask anyway. And so I asked the way I'm going to tell you in just a minute. And the guy that was interviewing me sighed. He went, and he said, okay, I will check. And I did end up getting more. So for just a moment, I was like, oh my gosh. But the point is, even though I got more than I wanted, I asked for more because this is the one time you can get more money. Definitely, if it's less than you want to ask for more. But again, just go ahead and ask. Now, go to the next one. Okay, now the next one. Okay, now here's what's important, your response. So your response needs to be positive and collaborative and excited. Thank them. And then I'm going to tell you about the question to ask, but just be curious. So again, think about it. These people have just offered you a job. And so you're going to talk about how excited you are and you're really, you're the right person. And then we're going to start negotiating. But first, show that excitement and that enthusiasm. Next slide. So here's what you do. And this is so key. So when they offer you the job and tell you the salary, listen to the offer, express that excitement and appreciation, and reinforce why you're the right choice for them. Oh, I'm so excited about this. I know I'm going to be a great addition to the team and really help you out with X. Thank you so much. And then ask this important question. Ask, is there any flexibility in the salary? That's it. That's all you have to say. And then stop talking. And this is really, really hard to do. Okay, go ahead and go to the next slide. Now, silence is golden here because it can be really difficult, but that's why I really want to emphasize this. After you say it, don't say anything. And it is going to be an uncomfortable silence for a lot of people, but just wait for them to respond because they're trying to figure it out. I've also heard a lot of stories where somebody got to this point and they did ask, is there any flexibility? And then the interviewer didn't say anything. And so they jumped right in and said, it's okay. I'll take it. Don't do that. Now, again, you have no idea why the interviewer is pausing. It is probably because they're trying to think about it. They're not sure, they're considering, they're just thinking about what they're going to say to you. So don't worry about it. Even if it goes on for a while, just pause. I talked to somebody else. She asked for this and she said it was a really uncomfortable long pause and they were face to face and she just said I just waited, and I just counted and I just kept saying to myself, it's okay, it's okay. And then the other person said, oh, well, I'll look into it. And she said, great, thank you. So don't jump in. Silence is golden. Next slide. All right. Remember, they want you for the job. Now, if it's the interviewer, they want to wrap this up. They don't want to have to take the time to find another candidate. It takes time and it looks bad. They have plenty of other things to do. They're thinking about the next person they're interviewing. And now all of a sudden you want to negotiate. So again, they want to wrap it up. And if it's the hiring manager, they need you to get started. They want to do whatever it takes to move you forward. So I just want you to think about that's what their thoughts are. So next slide. Okay. Now, you've got to be prepared for yes, maybe, and no. Now, it's really funny. A lot of times people don't expect a yes. Okay. And so I've heard plenty of times where somebody said, is there any flexibility? And the answer is, oh, yes. Now, you then need to be prepared to share your research if they want it. So, for example, a lot of times when somebody says yes, what comes after that is yes, what are you looking for? And so if you didn't share it before, or even if you shared it before with somebody else or shared it before with them, but that was, weeks ago. So that's when you remind them of the research. Or you might even say something, well, based on what I now know about the job, I was looking for something more in the X to Y range, or I was looking for more or something like that. But you should be prepared to ask for something else. Okay. Now, but again, I've talked to so many people, they're surprised when they get the yes. And it's interesting. And they talk to me afterwards, like, well, why didn't they offer me more? The point is that, again, companies are trying to save money. And so they know, they've done the research, that they'll try and offer you X. Some people will take X. For some people, they'll have to give them a little bit more money. But that's what they do. But if you ask, then they might go, oh, yeah, what are you looking for? Oh, yeah, we can give you an extra amount of money. It just blows my mind that that happens. Now, sometimes they say, well, maybe. And sometimes they will ask, well, what are looking for? Or if they just say maybe and they pause, you can say, great, would you check? Especially if it's just an interviewer, they might have to say, well, yeah, I need to check. Great, would you please do that and get back to me? I'm super excited about this job. I really, really appreciate that. Again, so you're showing your enthusiasm, your positivity. So you want to make sure you do that. Now, even if you get a no, I want you to stay positive because you never know what the no is. And so, I've had plenty of situations. Actually, I'm going to tell you, I was on the other side. So I was the hiring manager and I offered somebody a certain amount of money. It was the absolute top because she was really good. I wanted to give her the absolute top that I could give her. And so she tried to negotiate with me. And I said, listen, I would love to be able to pay you more. The fact is, this is as high as we're going to go. However, let me point out to you, the medical benefits, this, that, the other thing. And so the fact is, even if they say no, maybe there are other things that you can get. So next slide. So there might be other buckets of money. So again, being an internal person in HR, I know that salary is a certain bucket, that they will only pay X amount of dollars. However, there are other buckets. There are different budgets for different things. So for example, a signing bonus. I've known people that, especially if it's a difficult to fill position, that when they sign, they actually get an extra $5,000 or something. And that sounds crazy because, like, why didn't they just put it in the salary? The difference for them, again, it's two different buckets of money, but the other difference is that $5,000 or $10,000 or whatever you got, unfortunately, you won't get raises based on that. So, but you can still get a signing bonus. You can get a relocation bonus, a retention bonus. So I know somebody else that she got a retention bonus. If you stay 6 months, it was a job where there was a lot of turnover. If you stay 6 months, then you'll get X amount of dollars then. Maybe there's external training or certification, there's extra vacation, there's mileage or use of a company car. So again, just asking, well, are there other compensation options? So it's really important for you to just go ahead and ask and then just stop and see and say, great. Okay, go on to the next one. Always be professional and courteous. Ideally, these are your future coworkers. Reinforce again that you're excited and why you're the right person for the job. And don't rush. Again, stop, wait, think about it. You can even say, well, let me think about it. And then you can, especially if you're really nervous, and you say, can we chat again? I just have another question or two. So it's really, really important. And then again, you haven't accepted the job yet. Ask when they need an answer. It is reasonable to take a little bit of time. Typically, I do not personally like to accept a job at that moment. I just say, I'm super excited. I'm super excited. I just like to, think it over for a day. I'll get back to you tomorrow, or let me know when I need to get back to you. But it's reasonable to take a little time because this is a big change. Remember, if you don't ask for money, you won't get it. Nobody's going to hand you an extra $10,000, but this is a way you can make more money. Okay, next one. Now, you want more? Now, this is normally the point of the presentation where I offer you a discount on something, but I'm not going to do that. I love Career Connectors. Instead, I'm going to give you a free class. So if you want more information, I have a free online class, how to get a higher starting salary at a new job. Just go to my website, careercoffeebreak.com, use the coupon code FREE for you, and you can get it. It's under an hour, but it gives you more information. It dives deeper into the material that I just did. Also, you can get my book, Interview Speak, at the publisher's site, manning.com, and you get 40% off if you use that discount code. Thank you. Okay, next slide. Okay, this is me. I forgot to put my LinkedIn profile on here, but please join me. I was thinking about that after. Please connect with me on LinkedIn and tell me that you saw me here today. I would love to connect with all of you. I got some of yours, and I'm going to connect with some of you afterwards. If you have a question for me, Laura at careercoffeebreak.com. Go to my website. Again, I am happy to answer any questions. I know how hard it is to be struggling to find a job. And I know that especially these days, it is just the craziest job market I have ever seen. And if I can offer you resources or give you some suggestions, I'm happy to do it. So thank you so much, Jessica. I'm going to turn it back to you.
So good, Laura. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We really appreciate this. And I just want to park on this for a minute because there aren't a lot of experts in the job search community in this particular topic. And every time I've engaged with an expert that's written a book, has taught on this stuff, every one of them talks about asking a question back like you did. Do you have flexibility in this? So many people go at it when they're negotiating is like, well, my bills cost this much and I got to do this and this. And they say, this is my hard number. I cannot go lower. And that doesn't work. It's the asking a question back. Can you wiggle a little? Do you have any wiggle room? Somebody on our call, Lisa Barnhart is a senior exec in HR field for many years, and she dropped in a comment here, and she said vacation is the easiest thing to get. And so,
Yeah.
if that's important to you,
Yeah.
that's something you can ask for. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I've certainly asked for that, and I've asked for some crazy things also, and I've gotten some crazy things. And I thought, oh, they're never going to say yes to this. I asked them, will you pay for this? And because it was a different bucket, they were like, oh yeah, no problem. But because they couldn't give me more salary. So, but yeah, ask for all of those things.
Love it. I see some questions about your comment code. So I just went back for the training course. Guys, do it. Go after the training course. It's free. She's offering it free to you today. And then also 40% off with the promo code for her book. But take that course because even though today you may not be negotiating a salary, the moment you get the chance to negotiate a salary or ask about a salary, if you're going to want to jump into this class and you may not feel like you have the time. So do this now so you're prepared and ready. So Laura, I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. It's so much fun. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Sorry I messed up your slides a couple times.
It was perfect. No big deal. I didn't have to do anything. I
You did a
appreciate
great
it.
job of navigating that while I was doing my thing, trying to catch up. So thank you again. All right, you guys, I want to go through a couple things real quick before we jump into the breakout sessions. First of all, if you have any feedback and you'd like to send that to us, feel free to send it to email to us. We also always collect testimonials. If anything we've done, Career Connectors has done, or our speakers to impact you, we love to give that feedback to our speakers. You can email that to us. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn and just provide it directly through that as well. But I get all of the contact at Career Connectors emails, and our team is answering those on the regular. And then we have in your follow-up email, you'll have a couple things. Of course, you'll have the recording from today. There will be a link. You will have access to what's called a DISC assessment. It's a behavioral assessment, and it'll take you about 15 minutes to take. It'll give you some information about your behavior style, your ideal work environment. There's some great content there, and it's absolutely no cost. We partner with top talent management to help you. To understand your behavioral style. So they're a fantastic partner, and we so appreciate that. Thank you, Brian. He said he did the DISC assessment and he recommends it. Thank you, Kitty, for dropping the URL. Really, it is a valuable tool. I've been teaching DISC for over 20 years around the world, and it's just a really great tool. All right, so we have some partners I want to thank, the Resume Writers and Coaching Association. Some of them are on the chat right now. I saw Donna Tucker is here, April Malone, and they're going to be resume writers in our breakouts. I mentioned Amanda as well as part of that. So the cool thing about this organization that we partner with is we know that they are up to date on all resume certifications, that they're talking to employers to see what should be on the resume as you're submitting through their applicant tracking systems. They're learning every month how to get through the complicated applicant tracking software. And so connect with them if you have any questions on resume writing, and any of the coaches that are on the line. This is a great organization to connect to. And then also, you guys saw that Sydney is posting in the chat around about Best Companies AZ. They are a partner with us. They award best companies in Arizona, not in Arizona, and also if you don't live in Arizona, we specifically talk about Arizona because that's where we're based. But if you do not live in Arizona, many of these companies they partner with have remote positions. And so if that's something you're interested in, Sydney is a great place to connect with, and she will be available in the breakout. These are some examples of the companies that they represent. They're not a staffing firm, so they're not coming after you trying to make money off of staffing. They are on it. They are award-winning companies. And so they're just representing them. And so she can talk to you about those companies and help make some introductions if you're interested. And these are some of the awards that many of these companies have gotten, and most admired companies, Fortune's Best, a whole bunch of different ones. Okay, so what we have coming up. You guys, last year we had a guy, Jim McConnell, come on, and he did the 20-minute talk around security and avoiding scams. And we got so much feedback on how much you appreciated that conversation that we are bringing him in for the hour keynote. So he is going to talk about guarding your career search, navigating security, and avoiding scams. I know you are all dealing with it, and it's so unfortunate, and it's hard to understand what's a scam, what's not a scam, and what job postings are real, which ones are not. And so he's going to come in, be ready with your questions. He is brilliant, and I can't wait to hear him. So even if you've landed your job, come back. The content is phenomenal. And so Jim is so good. We're also going to hear from a therapist, counselor. Actually, it's my husband, but it's unique because he's going to talk about mindset matters, thriving through career transition. And the reason it's unique is because my husband, Mark, was a recruiter, and he was in talent acquisition director for 20 years. And he re-careered mid-career and went through all of the schooling and stuff to become a therapist, a counselor. And so he has been working with he's been running his office now for about 5 years. And so these two things have gone together for him. He works with a lot of people as they're leaving careers, adjusting through careers. And so he has a process that he'll walk you through around how do you really get your mind around being healthy as you're going through career transition. So that's next month. We do a resume reboot, a fantastic resume panel on April 9th. Ladies from the Resume Writers Council, Resume Writers and Coaching Association will be here. We do a panel, and it's so good. They have great content and information. And then we are doing an interview skills hire me with impact. And then also we give out the Strengths Finders assessment for free for 1 week in May. And so you're going to hear a little bit about that as well. And then if you need some assistance right now and you need more than what we can do for you in this event, we have developed a coaching program that does have a small fee to it, but it is a tutorial online with videos and has a resume template. As much as we don't love templates, this is the best one I've ever seen. I partnered with another coach to create all these modules and how, if you're not sure where you want to go with your career, it walks you through the activities to get you there. So it is at pathways.org. And thank you, Kitty, for dropping that. Pathways.org. And you can go through this tool and we would love to help you there. I was laughing, Leslie, at Mark. She knows my husband. He's the best. And I'm not just saying that. He really is the best. And so I'd love for you all to meet him next month if you are interested in that talk. Okay, so then thank you so much to our volunteers today. And we have all of these people that are listed as coaches available in the breakout sessions. And you can see those in just a second. And we are a nonprofit. Was a volunteer initiative I started 16 years ago, and a couple years later, we turned it into a nonprofit so we could do even more in the community. So if you are interested in giving back after you land your job, we would so appreciate that. And that is an option available on our website to give back. And we do 2 campaigns in the year. We do Arizona Gives Day, and then we do Giving Tuesday at the end of the year. So you'll see if you're interested, you may donate that way. So thank you for that. It keeps us going, that's for sure. So thank you all for being here. We are glad you were able to connect. Hopefully you'll be able to make some connections. You got some great resources from today, and we are just praying for you all that you do land into the career of your dreams. What we're going to do now is we are going to jump over into our breakout sessions. These will go until 11:30. You can choose to stay in one room, or you may choose to jump around into different rooms. And what's going to happen is in just a moment, Kathy is going to launch the breakout rooms. There will be a button on the bottom of your screen, and you in that button, you will see all of the breakout rooms. If you are on your phone, sometimes it's there's a drop-down option with 3 dots, and you can click on that drop-down option and then choose, you'll see breakout rooms, and you can choose your breakout rooms. Each of our speakers and our different coach hosts will be in those breakout rooms. You can go into a breakout room, and then after you have a conversation, then you can go to a different one, and you can just jump around as you like to the different breakout rooms. And so that is how that works. These are the breakout rooms we have. So Amanda and Laura will each, of course, have their own breakout rooms. Then we'll have resume review being done by Donna Tucker and April Malone. Again, they are part of the Resume Writers Council of Arizona, or I'm sorry, I always say that wrong. The Resume Writers and Coaching Association. And Donna, as you all should know, has been our longest running volunteer. She's been with us for almost the full 16 years. She knows what she's talking about. April is new and has been coached and mentored by the best, and she is phenomenal. I've just been so impressed by the guidance she's given. So both amazing, amazing resume coaches. Kitty, you guys have probably seen Kitty dropping in and talking about answering all your questions, and she is phenomenal in LinkedIn. Go see her. We have Gian, who is a great finance coach. So if you have questions about unemployment or budgeting during career transition, or what are some things I can do, or I have a 401k, I don't know what to do with it, anything. He is here to serve you. Donna, it has been our longest running. Gian has been our second longest running volunteer. So they are both phenomenal. We so appreciate them. And then we have Pamela Heward, is a career coach. She's great at answering like career changing questions, interviewing questions. So go talk to Pamela, and then we have Sydney, of course. I don't know, Cindy. I got your name wrong. I'm sorry. Why did I put your old Cindy Patrick?
That works too. They both
Okay.
work.
Thank you. You're so kind. So Sydney Patrick or Sydney Rodriguez really is, you can go talk to her today. Okay. So we're going to go into the breakouts.